What's up YouTube, Matt here. As you can see by hand and face cam, we have got deck profile again. So people did actually seem to like this style of having the face cam and the hand cam. So we are going to keep at it. I am going to work on getting a little border for going, oops, as I'm not the other camera, as I knock a little border around my face cam to make it look a little bit cleaner. But that is the up and coming when I have something to actually put that situation. But less about the face cam, more about the deck profile. Today we are back for, as you can see by the fact we've got 4 different cards in different sleeves, overdress. And we are still on the long lyrical grind. We're getting closer to the end. And we are here with Alestiel. So we are in the Alestiel deck list this time. So this is going to be my mixed wings version. So it's got both black and white wing, because obviously with set 2 they gained an easier way to abuse Alestiel. But we'll get into that more as we hit the grade 2. So starting off, obviously with ride line, we have Alestiel starter. Does Alestiel things. Nice, simple, to the point. Then we have the grade 1, which is Indecisive Sky Alestiel. Now, Indecisive Sky Alestiel's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, find the top card of your deck. And it's got 2 other skills based on whether you've found a white wing, which is the odd grade, so 1s and 3s, or if you've found a black wing, even grade, to get the black wings, which is the 0s, 2s, and the 4s. So, Alestiel's white wing skill is continuous Vanguard circle. When you ride from your ride deck, you may Soul Blast 1 instead of discarding a card from your hand. So, really good. And second skill is black wings. All your opponents grade 3 or less rearguards cannot attack this turn. So, obviously, really good for both having both wings. White wing allows you to plus harder, because obviously you're not discarding for the ride deck, which is a really good bonus. And the black wings does work really nicely against the early aggro decks. So that people that do like to chuck down 3 grade 1s, you can literally, if you're sitting in black wings, not be attacked by your opponent's grade 1 rearguards. So, not being able to modify it though on turn 1 does hurt, but having the ability to both be useful is a really good part of the deck. We'll then move into grade 2, which is Shining As is Alestiel. So Shining As is Alestiel's got, again, the split skills and the first main skill. Main skill being, when this unit is placed on Vanguard circle, choose a card from your bind zone, put it on the bottom of your deck, and if you put a card there, bind the top card of your deck face up. So whatever you've grabbed off this goes back into your deck, and you then cycle this out. It's like another new card out with this. So allows you to change. You could go from white wings to black wings to white wings. You could stay the same. It is down to lottery. But then her 2 winged skills are white wings, act Vanguard circle once a turn, you can count blast 1 and each unit gets a crit until end of turn. And the black wing skill is, during the battle this unit attacked, your opponent cannot call trigger units from hand to Guardian circle. So first skill is really nice for the fact that it actually allowed you to put more aggression out, because you're gaining the critical trigger for a counter blast. Whereas the black wings one allows for a more control based and prevents them from actually guarding with criticals, draws, fronts, heals, over trigger for all it's worth. So putting a booster behind this makes it an 18k against opponents being a AK if you're going first. Really strong pressure. There is ways that you can abuse this, which I will get to once we get to it. But for now, we'll cover the grade 3 of the deck, which is Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel. Now Alestiel's got the skill of, at the beginning of your main phase, you choose a card from your bind zone, put it into your hand, and if you do, you then bind the top card of your deck face up. So obviously, you're now taking your bind zone, putting it to hand, and then gaining a new card in the bind zone again, so you're getting more cycling. Obviously, this one actually puts it to your hand instead of your deck, so you're getting a generic +1 every single turn, which is really strong. On top of that, we've got the skill of White Wings, Continuous Vanguard Circle. During your turn, this unit gets 5k and a critical. And the Black Wing skill of, during your turn, all your opponent's units get -5k. So obviously, Both of them really strong effects. The ability, obviously, again, aggression from the White Wing skill, because obviously extra power, extra crit. Whilst a bit more control from the other side of minusing power from your opponent to make them then have to guard more cards. All in all, Alestiel's really interesting, and she's got so much good supporting units behind her. Next up, we are going to move into the grade 3s and go that way, because obviously, first thing up is we run 3 extra Persona rides. Nice, simple, to the point. And the fact of the next grade 3 I want to cover very fast, because it's a key part of the deck, and that is Incessant's Vocal Alestiel. Now, Alestiel's got the skill of, when your Vanguard is placed, whilst it's on the rearguard circle, you can bind this unit and draw a card. So, turning this into a free card, really good. But the second skill is where she really shines, in the fact of, when this unit is bound, your cards White Wings and Black Wings are both active until the end of your opponent's next turn. So obviously, binding one of these off any of these skills forces you to get both the White Wings and the Black Wings skills. So obviously, Alestiel would get 5k and a crit, whilst reducing your opponent to 8k base. Really good. You've got Shining Essence Alestiel that would gain the crit and the Sentinel and the Trigger Restrict. There is so much that this card provides for the deck, and it's so abusable as well, because obviously you can Persona Ride whilst this is on the board. It then binds itself, because obviously you've Persona Ride, and then drawn a card. Then an Alestiel skill will activate, beginning of the main phase. This will go back to hand, and you bind a new card. Then you put this back down again for next turn to Persona Ride. Really good card. Next up is we do run 2 copies of Enveloping Compassion Torquil. Now Torquil's got the skill of, when this unit attacks, it gets £10,000 to the end of the battle. And then at the end of the battle, you may put this card into your soul as a White Wing skill. So obviously, a bit of extra aggression for the deck, which is always going to be good. Plus it generates soul for no cost, which is a really good card, because there are some grade 2s that do need soul, and obviously with the bouncing you can do with this deck, reusing those every turn does drain the soul, so having extra ways to gain some soul is really nice. Because you don't see your Persona Rise every single game, so having these to help generate soul does help. So talking about soul, we might as well move on to the one that needs it the most from the grade 2s, and that is Privileged Potential Fanial. Now Fanial's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Alestiel in its card name, choose a card from your hand, put in your bind zone and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand, you choose a card from your hand and put it into the bind zone. Second skill is Black Wings. Also rearguard circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 3 or greater Vanguards, and it gets minus 5,000 power till end of turn. So obviously this is really solid for the fact of it lets you to put Alestiel straight from your hand into your bind zone on turn 3. So instantly getting both wings turn 3 really solid. You can then start looping it every turn with this, putting it back to hand. If you bounce this will then place back down, putting Alestiel back in the bind again. Really solid plays. But Fanial does one other thing which is really useful, and that is with Shining As Is Alestiel. So say you're in White Wings already, you can then counterblast 1 with Shining As Is to gain your critical. You then play down Fanial, Soul Blast 1, add the White Wings card back into your hand, and then choose a Black Wings card, so your even grades of 0, 2, 4, and put it into your bind zone. By doing that, you've then activated the Black Wings ability now. You've already gained your crit. You don't lose the crit from going out of White Wings. So then you can then pull a booster down behind Alestiel. You've then got 18k with a crit. The opponent then can't trigger. Guard with triggers. So really strong pressure, and this is a really good enabler for the deck. Next up in grade 2s is our other new grade 2 that we got, in the forms of Aim for the Horizon Fial. Fial's got the skill of Black Wings, continuous rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard with Alestiel in its card name, this unit can attack a grade 3 or greater Vanguard from the back row. So obviously this is locked to either going second or if you went first, turn 4. But this is really strong pressure, considering the fact you've got Vinyl that can remove power, you've got Alestiel that can remove power. So you're reducing to a 3k base. Even without Vinyl, you've still got an 8k base, these can still actually apply pressure. Especially in the late game when they're sitting at 5 and they actually can't, they have to block everything. This provides a lot of power. And the last grade 2 we run is 3 copies of Heavenly Recital and Mamiel. Now Mamiel's got the skill of Blackwing's Auto Rearguard Circle. End of the battle this unit attacked whilst boosted. You can choose a card from for your soul or rearguards and put it into your hand. If you chose a card from your soul, you then put this into your soul. So obviously this is really good, but whilst being boosted, end of the battle you can bounce your Vinyl back to hand. Next turn with Vinyl, reactivate your Elkiel skill to get both wings again. Or you can use it to bounce Elkiel. You can bounce your back rows that you want. There's grade 1s that you can bounce. You can also, say you've put your Torquil into soul and you want it next time for a final push, put this into soul and take the Torquil back out of soul. So it creates so much plays. It is a really solid card. Next up is grade 1s. And the first grade 1 we run is the obvious or perfect guards. Got the usual overdress skill of when it's placed in the Guardian Circle, prevents the attack, and if you've got 2 or more cards in your hand, discard a card. So discard obviously being mandatory, but they're just so good for the fact that you don't have to discard with 1 or less cards in hand. Next grade 1 we run is Wings with Rainbow Glow and Rimwell. Now Rimwell's got the skill of White Wings. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards for every 3 of your units with odd grades, and they get power plus 5k, critical plus 1 until end of turn. And you can't choose the same unit twice. So basically, when you place this down, you're going to have this guaranteed, this guaranteed. All you need on top of that is 1 odd grade, so either Alestiel, Mamiel, Torquil, or one of your other grade 1s. And this will then choose a unit to give 5k and a crit to. So the exact same skill as what you'd get from Alestiel's White Wing skill. So applying that to the likes of Fanael, who's going to be then swinging 15k with a crit. Or you can even apply it to a Mamiel, so it's a 23k column with a crit. It does apply really big pressure, especially if you've got the Black Wings at the same time, reducing their power. You're then swinging 28 to their 8, which is 20k shield. That's not easy numbers to guard. Then the last grade 1 we run is 3 copies of Song of Salvation Tuluel. Now Tuluel's got the simple skill of White Wings, Continuous Guardian Circle. This unit gets shield plus 10,000. So it's an extra 15k shield for the deck. But it's really useful for the fact of you can play this down, use it to boost a Mamiel, so 18k column, and then use a Mamiel to bounce Turel back to hand to then guard with on the following turn. So it creates more combo plays. It allows you to commit the card down early, and really a lot of fun. Then we move on to the last part, which is the triggers, which is obviously 4 heals, because heals are very much mandatory. We then run 7 criticals. Just ignore the fact of mine are literally 3 different types of vanillas. You do not need the crit effect crits of this deck, because you're not really generating too much need for a Soul Blast. And you're swinging magic numbers already, with either you're swinging 13s or you're swinging 10s, and the 3k doesn't, the 2k doesn't actually then push you into numbers because obviously you're 12s. And you're already bringing them down to your level anyway, due to the facts of Vinyl and Alestiel. We then do run 4 copies of the effect draws, because we are still very peace reliant. And having the extra 10k shield on these is still really good. Does give us extra variety to guard with, because obviously we've now got these that gain 10k shields, 5k shield to become 10k shield. You've got these that gain 10k shield to become 15k shield, so you've got extra shield power in the deck. So it's really useful to have the draws to help dig for, like I said, the combo pieces of like your Elkiels, your Finials, your Rimwells, or just dig for extra shield power in the forms of Turel. And the last card we run is one overtrigger. So this is Grisaille. I went for the Angel one, unsurprisingly, for Alestiel. And the additional effect of this is, during the fight, use the fire to get, during your turn, all your hero guards get 10,000 power. So, needs to be in the format, it's an overtrigger, and it's so much better than the vanilla one. But this is the basics of Alestiel. Now, Alestiel is a very solid deck. I'm not going to call it meta, because it's so piece reliant. It's not got the aggression that you get from the likes of Gravidia, you get from Baramagnus, Kyrie. They're all more aggressive. They can put more pressure out than this deck can. But I would also say to not sleep on this deck, because a good Alestiel player can still put a lot of pressure out onto you, because you've got to think everything's gaining crits, everything's reducing your power. You can literally get swept so quickly if you do not have the hand to protect yourself. But that is going to be it for this video. If you haven't done it already, please do like, comment, subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye!